Unwanted. I don't know what to expect from Unwanted. Obviously, they come through the BYOC. It's a great experience for them, right? I mean, how many times in Overwatch thus far in a LAN have you had like an open bracket kind of system, like in person?
No, for a reason, I guess, in some cases, I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's kind of unique, right, that we actually do get to see teams come up from the BYOC. But I expect a very frosty reception given by NIP, as I'm receiving right now, by the way. It is damn cold. My extremities are cold, even in here. I want one of those heat packs, but straight into Eichenwald, actually, to start things off here, interestingly enough. Note that NIP banned out both Nepal and Ilios straight away.
Yes.
So they're still going to have to play a King of the Hill, but they don't like it. I definitely think this is going to be a bit of a stop map for them here as well. Let's be honest, Matt, Unwanted probably won't take a map.
No, I don't think so. I think that would be the safe bet that Unwanted doesn't win a map here, but you don't know. They could definitely come out and surprise NIP with some interesting strategies. I think the biggest thing that Unwanted probably has going in their favor is like a little bit of a meta switch, right? That the meta is so different. And it looks like they're going to go with a little bit of a different defensive setup here. Mitch, you're just throwing your hands up. You're like, oh, what the hell is this? Well, it's actually funny. Didn't we talk about this at breakfast today? I was like...
We talked about the Torbjorn Symmetra plays, right?
Yeah.
The last time we saw this was actually towards the World Cup. First, like South Korea did it to Australia. That was BM. We also saw the Thai team play it. Now, Slasher will tell me, and will tell everyone else till he's blue in the face, that Torbjorn is excellent right now at a certain comp level, but...
I kind of agree a little bit.
This is a hyper-defensive comp. Once NIP sniff it out, it shouldn't be much of an issue dealing with these turrets and the like here. Zappas can circumvent those as well with the translocator. If he does play that Sombra, then why not here? NIP can mix it up. What a great way to start.
I would love to see them, while they're not going to run the Sombra, it's actually going to be Hanzo coming out from Zappas here at the beginning, but I think Hanzo's another great pick. I mean, you can work down this Reinhardt shield, and then as soon as he realizes that there's going to be a Torbjorn, they're going to be able to just locate that turret and get rid of it fast. But you see the Maywall come in there from the side of Unwanted, and all those Symmetra turrets on the opposite side, they're able to just get down Roadhog, and it's going to be Zappa's going to get hooked by Emil. So it's a good first hold here from Unwanted.
That's pretty nice, actually. The tanks being sort of taken out the picture earlier, or at least we saw Fraggy sort of picked up. Zappas tried to head up towards the high ground here, so now Nip know what Unwanted are playing. So this is the grace period, in my opinion, that's kind of expired. Those Symmetra turrets are still in play, and Zekor is heading towards a teleporter, potentially. Look at the damage he gets from that one as well. Fraggy walks into that one, and NIP still need to respect this May wall.
Yeah, I think NIP may need to change things up a little bit. I mean, if you'd had a Winston just jump up on the bridge and just like hit mouse one once, he's going to get rid of all those Symmetra turrets. But you see Mafu is pretty charged up on the Zarya. They're trying to get a hook here, trying to get a pick. They have to be cautious, though. That Maywall has been so effective from the side of Unwanted.
Yeah, those turrets are free charge, by the way. You can see that Mafu is going to have no issues getting fully charged up on the particle cannon from those. And now we're going to see them pushed in. First pick, that's Latex falling down. Zappas will follow up here, and we can see Smarky's forced in towards Ice Block. Nicola, though, his turret is doing a bit of work. It's kind of a little bit low on the priority chain right now, but Fraggy has to keep his shield up while his team gets rid of it. But now we will see NIP build ahead of steam.
Yeah, now NIP is going to get closer towards the point. They do have the man advantage here, but it looks like they're going to have to back down a little bit, going to have to regroup and then start pushing through. And it's interesting that you're going to see Unwanted still stick with this Symmetra. It's going to be a nano-boosted Fraggy going in. He's just going to get mowed down quick, though. He's getting pushed back by the whole hog. And it's a very good defensive setup from Unwanted. They push that nano-boosted Reinhardt back, but here's going to come an Earth Shatter, and now it's going to be a Graviton Surge as well. NIP going on offense, and there you see it's a Hanzo plus the Graviton Surge there gets the job done.
That Dragon Strike probably shouldn't have got as many kills as it did, if I'm honest, but Unwanted will force back in towards the Yanked house, I guess, or the Hunter's lodge, as it were. Latex, they're going to catch Connor with a Fire Striker. This is a very disjointed push coming in from NIP. Hook not going to connect there from Emil as he does drop down, and Zappa is going to keep his team nice and healed up. Now, I've got to bring this up as well. If you're playing Ana on a team full of tanks, quite often, like NIP, you have a big job on your hands. You need to dish a lot of healing out. I think Zappe does an excellent job of that one, but eventually, Matt, NIP are going to roll straight on through here and make some progress.
It was an interesting setup from Unwanted there on the first point. They hold for a little bit. The teleporter comes in. They start staggering down towards the point, but they're not able to get it back. Now, you will see NIP has a ton of time here to work with, and Unwanted, they're going to switch over. They're actually going to run a 76 now. So Soldier and Diva, two heroes in the new meta that have gotten a lot of play. We'll see if Unwanted can put them to good use, but you see they're going to go on the offense again with another great Maywall trying to block off NIP. But now you see all the kills coming in NIP's favor. Things are not looking good for Unwanted.
It's So, funny story. I actually don't know if this game is actually set to comp mode right
No,
now.
it's not.
Because it would normally show the times up the top, but we'll carry on as if it were. I don't think a restart's really required in that case, but we'll see what the admins decide to do. We'll play on anyway. Zappe does have himself a nano boost here to working towards the next fight, and Zappa's, it'll just be a sonic arrow just to see where Unwanted are coming from. He knows he's being threatened right now, so we can back away.
Yeah, he's going to back down. That's a smart play. You see the May Blizzard going to come in as well. And the NIP uses the nano boost there, probably the absolute worst time. So they use a nano, and they actually use a sound barrier as well. They're able to just survive through the fight. You see it's just going to be Smarky trying to stay alive here, but his teammates are all falling. He's just trying to stay up, put the May wall, blocking himself off from any damage, but quickly dealt with by Zappis, and Zappis still staying on that Hanzo, being extremely effective.
So in this day and age where nano boost doesn't give you a speed boost, using it on right up makes you very susceptible to a blizzard like that. So I like the response from Unwanted. I like Smarky going for the blizzard, but the problem is, right, if your fundamentals aren't on the same level as your opponent, the finer points of strategy doesn't really matter so much, man. It's not a huge difference, but now Unwanted will challenge this here.
Yeah, and they have no ultimates to kind of take this back, and you see NIP, I mean, they have everything. They have the Graviton Surge, the Dragon Strike, a whole hog, and an Earth Shatter. So they have a lot of utility here to secure this payload. And you see that Graviton Surge coming in there towards the end. Fraggy is actually going to land the Earth Shatter here, and you see everybody just going to fall quickly for Unwanted. So things kind of going as expected in NIP's favor. It's what Jason and ZP and so we thought on it ask. It's what we thought before the game started. But this is where NIP could fall into some trouble, right? Like, this is the hardest point to get on Iconball.
Yeah, technically. Notice they're not pushing ahead of this payload sometimes. You see how it takes a while for that payload to get moving? Sometimes teams push right into the throne room and actually make sure that they can allow the payload to get through the door and have a good presence before that second door comes down and makes it hard to filter in. But this time, not an issue for them here. They've got 6 players ready to fight on the payload. This should be a comfortable move through, especially with the Dragon Strike and Whole Hog available.
So we'll see. It'll be the Diva Bomb coming in from Unwanted. One does not...
Fraggy's just standing there.
Fraggy's just standing there. He's kind of trapped beyond that May wall. I think both teams are just kind of standing here at this point. Okay, well...
Okay. All right. So, yeah, as we thought, it's in the wrong mode. Obviously, it's not comp.
The players... did the players just realize that, though?
No, well, maybe, yeah. The thing is, right, because it tells you because you get a counter for every checkpoint that you sort of get here as well. So we can consider that a dry run to start things off here. Everyone's sort of getting into it. I would expect, I guess, a replay of this to look very similarly. But instead of playing on, they're going to go back and start it again. That's fine. But, Matt, we can talk a little bit more about, I guess, what we've seen so far. The Torbjorn Symmetra to start things off, definitely interesting choice, but it worked for a while.
Do they go with it again? Like, now it's really predictable, right? I mean, that was like kind of, if you're Unwanted, that was like your trump card, right? Like, maybe we can throw them off, like do something unorthodox. It's like, well, now you kind of know what's happening.
If you ask me, right, if you're going to play Torbjorn and Symmetra, 2 heroes whose most part of their value actually comes from having their ultimates online, if you don't hold the first point and you don't have a chance to get ultimates on both those heroes, it's not worth it at all, right? Then you could have you might as well just chuck it in the bin and go for something a little bit different.
Yeah, because then you're switching off of those heroes going into point 2.
Right, so you're not going to hold an ult for that. Like, it's just no point.
Right, that's actually really poor if Unwanted were to lose that pretty quick. They actually got, I don't want to say lucky, I mean, they were playing very well. You know, the Maywall is just separating NIP, holding that at the beginning, but like, to your point, if it didn't go that way, and let's say, NIP just runs in and breaks it, then you're switching off the Torb, you're switching off Symmetra, maybe you're even switching off May at that point.
Yep.
And then you're really far behind in the ultimate economy. So maybe, Unwanted changes things up, runs a 76 at the beginning, maybe
like,
Roadhog.
No messing, right? Especially now in a meta where ultimates take longer to charge, like, you lose a lot more value now if you don't get your ultimates down on that first point out of Torb and Symmetra.
And what's your feelings on all the new changes?
Well, I mean, in terms of how the ultimates take longer to charge up, I don't mind it at all. It means that teams now can't wait for those prescribed waypoints or those those time-stamped points in the game where you're just going to let all your ultimates go. So it forces you to push in without the use of those ultimates. Unfortunately, in my opinion, it also benefits teams that stack a lot of tanks, right? Because it's hard to get front-loaded burst down without big ultimates, especially big DPS ults, like, I don't know, your Deadeyes or your Dragon Blades or anything like that. So I think it's a little bit more of a slow roll, but it also forces teams to rely on positioning and just mechanics over the shock and awe factor of having those ults up all the time.
Yeah, and I like it just from playing it. It just feels a little bit better to me.
Yep.
I think just not having so many ultimates and being so ultimate dependent. And I think especially with loaded up on tanks, this helps NIP more than anybody, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mentioned, I think it also benefits you, or at least it rewards you more for playing better and doing more damage, right? Because if your ultimates take longer to charge up, it's clear to see who's doing more. Like, who's the better Ana, for example, who's doing more healing, because obviously if you have a nano boost and they're only 46% of the way through, you can see that you've done a better job. And now we've actually got moments in the game where one team has a nano and the other doesn't, which is better than what we used to see, where we
everybody's nano.
Electric Cowboys or Electric Crusaders just running at each other full speed and trying to make things happen. But we're back on Eichenwald, and we are in the correct mode here. So Unwanted have had a bit of taste of what's to come from NIP, but Matt, doesn't seem they want to change their defensive team too much.
Yeah, they're gonna stick with it, which may actually catch NIP off guard. We'll see if NIP changes things up at the beginning. I thought Zappis was really effective on that Hanzo. Probably like to see him stick on the Hanzo going in to this, I guess it was not really a redo. Well, it is a redo of Eichenwald. We didn't get through the entire first map, but we will see Unwanted on defense. They'll be going with Symmetra and Torbjorn again. They'll be running the Mei.
Right.
Obviously going to try and just wall off the opponents at that first gate. Now, NIP have some time here to just build up their comm. You want to see them run the Hanzo again?
This is fine. It's fine, right? Because you can get if you get a good pick on a Torbjorn, the fact is if you have Torbjorn Symmetra, right, and only 2 tanks, you have far more of those heroes with health pools that can get one shot by Hanzo, right? So it makes your picks easier to get. So yeah, take Hanzo here. If you pick a Mei off, which is a bit harder with extra bit of health, but Torbjorn, Symmetra, catch one of those. I mean, it's on for young and old after that point.
Yep, it'll be NIP on offense. It'll be Himsy running Roadhog. Look for him to try and get some picks with a hook. He's very effective on Roadhog, one of the best Roadhogs in the world. And you see Mafu just earning that free charge at the beginning. Now Zappis on Hanzo. He'll be the one responsible in getting a pick early. And you see the Mei wall coming in a little bit late there from Unwanted, and they actually knock down the Reinhardt. This is not good for Unwanted.
Yeah, you allow the tank line of NIP to get through, and that's your problem, I guess. Clown does go down earlier on, but it's a pretty low priority pick-off now, especially when Zappis finds pick-off. Nicholas turrets down, the hook comes in from Himsy. Again, keep an eye on this guy. If you're not familiar with Himsy, he will rock you with his hooks. Always good to watch, and despite Emma getting 2 kills, there may well not be enough to stop things here. Look at Zappis, confidence embodied, coming forward, 2 quick kills, and now it's going to be an easy clean-up here onto poor Latex, who's going to be caught in the mix.
He's just spinning around with his shield.
He wants fire sensitivity like the Chinese players. They do it really far.
He had no chance of survival there. It's going to be NIP taking the first point. And this is exactly what we talked about. Now they're going to be behind in the ultimate game because they're going to have to switch off of that Torbjorn in Symmetra. Yeah. So now your 76 going to be starting to build his ult from the beginning. Same with D.Va. So going in this next fight, NIP has another big advantage.
I like D.Va as a response to Hanzo here. D.Va's very good at closing the gap to a Hanzo, shutting him down quickly, and also preventing him from getting good damage across with the defense matrix. The thing is, it's a 2-2-2 comp here, so they don't have a Roadhog for picks or sort of extra front-loaded damage and durability, so I don't love it. Anyway, the engagement comes in, wall comes up, and Himsy needs to get into the fight. Here's the Dragon Strike.
Yep, it's going to be Zappis. He's going to be able to get one with some help of Himsy. Puts down a nice shot there. Mei is going to go into that ice block, just trying to stay alive for a little bit longer, but they're going to be able to handle D.Va as well. Nicola up top as Soldier 76, just trying to lay down damage, but we have nobody at the actual front lines, just putting down the pressure. Everybody else drops. It's really going to be nothing. Soldier's going to have to back up with Ana. And now you see NIP consistently moving the payload. What can Unwanted do to stop this?
They've got a nano boost, Matt. That's about it, really. Maybe nano boost Reinhardt, drop him down off the bridge into the midst of them and hope you have good follow-up, but that's going to be about it. You can see them now just posturing and looking for a decent engage, and an early wall comes up there. I'm not sure why, but here's the fight. Bionic Grenade comes in.
And by the time they actually get a chance to maybe use the nano boost and drop down, the Graviton Surge already is in. You see D.Va, she's going to go for a ride, flying off the side of the map. It's going to limit still with that nano boost coming in here for Unwanted if they decide to challenge this. I almost feel like they have to. It's so much time on the clock for NIP.
They're so split, though. I mean, they're going to come out like, yeah, this is bad.
Yeah,
this is not good. Latex going to charge onto the payload. Nicola already falling down. You're going one at a time against NIP. It's just not going to work out at all. I understand it. The problem now is that with Unwanted dying so close to the payload getting across the line, they can't come all the way forward from spawn and defend in front of this door, and they can't use this choke point aspect now once the second door comes down. So they're going to have to set up, and look, NIP are going to push them back.
Yeah, and this is a very smart play by NIP. You can see why they're one of the best teams in the world, just really taking advantage of Unwanted right now. And they will have a Dragon Strike, a Nano Boost, so they don't have a Graviton to go work with it, NIP, but they do have that Earth Shatter, and you see it's going to be Fraggy getting Nano Boosted, and he's going to fly in. And you are saying, oh my, with your hand on your head. What are you seeing right now?
Dragon Strike came in just as Unwanted went to engage. That is never going to work. They walked into the Dragon. They fed him there. And I don't think Zappos needs any more fodder, but look at them all on fire, and it's easy enough to see that NIP are pushing very comfortably now. There's an Earth Shatter and a Recon Visor here available.
Yeah, so they will have the Soldier ultimate. That is extremely effective now. And NIP not running a D.Va, so not going to be able to eat that up with a defense matrix. We'll see how NIP attacks this, if they're going to make it around the corner. Oh, and they actually hook the Soldier. So if things couldn't get worse for Unwanted, they definitely do there. And you see the sound barrier coming in from NIP. They're going for the kill here. They're trying to put the game away.
Oh, Nicola had a tactical visor there as well. A little bit of extra damage would have been pretty good for Unwanted right now, but still, it's back and forth. Another hook there connecting. Mafu, they're going to go down on Nicola now as he does finally get that tac visor going, but still should be shut down now eventually as Himsy finds him. Hook goes on towards the newly suited up D.Va, and Emil gets chunked down as soon as he gets back in his mech.
Well, Unwanted is doing a decent job of just stalling this out and holding on. They're going to, it's going to be Himsy sending the opposing Reinhardt Latex for a ride there. He's actually going to connect with a hook. And now you see a nano boost and a sound barrier coming in from Unwanted, so they're going to start to push NIP back.
Now, as the Latex coming forward there as well, gets himself a nano boost. Decent charge on towards Mafu, but again, he's the mayor of Hook City right now. Himsy catches him yet again. He's going to be forced back now as well. The damage coming in from the D.Va is going to hurt as Mafu gets right in underneath their skin.
And Unwanted, they're going to actually have Nicola switch over from Soldier to Reaper. So in such a close quarters, right on the payload almost towards the end. You're going to need that Reaper to really just mow down these tanks, but I don't think it's going to be enough, Mitch. I mean, you just see just the pressure that they are putting on now with the D.Va. Does not look likely for Unwanted to hold.
No, it's got to be tough. I mean, Zappos now switching towards the Tracer, which I find quite curious. He's forced to back away here, so Unwanted, especially off the back of the Blizzard coming out from Smarky, have been able to hold now. And the ults are starting to fly for them here. They've got 4 ready to go.
We'll see if they can make use of that D.Va bomb. Emil has that. No, D.Va ultimate. We've seen Mickey in the Apex just getting so many kills with it. He's going to launch it into the sky, not going to get anything with it. Death Blossom comes in too, so that's going to be 2 for Nicola. You're going to see Camille pick up Limo, pick up 1, and now you will see Unwanted get a hold here.
Not bad, actually, from Unwanted, I'll be honest. They did front-load a lot of those ultimates, and now once the fight's sort of over and the NIP disengage that damage, they should be able to push up a little bit more in a moment, but they're going to wait here. Now, 2 minutes, 23 seconds. I wouldn't be upset about this if I'm Unwanted. They've managed to hold here. It's a very strong defensive position if you give the defenders any time to actually establish here. But now NIP are going to come back in. Mafu does have the self-destruct here. Unwanted are going to have to head for the heels if that comes flying down.
Yeah, it was about a little bit over 4 minutes, I believe, NIP had when they got to this checkpoint. So Unwanted's done a pretty good job holding it to this point. It's going to be Limit with a nano boost for Unwanted. We'll see if he uses that one in this next fight. You see it's going to be the D.Va bomb coming in. Nothing gets it from the side of NIP, so NIP uses the one ultimate they have. They get nothing for it. Now you're going to see the nano-boosted Reinhardt fly in. It's going to be Nicola as well, picking up 1. It's going to force NIP to disengage.
Yeah, big time there as well. I mean, self-destruct getting absolutely nothing there for Mafu. At least he kept himself alive to reshoot. But again, nano boost on towards Latex. Unwanted are doing a lot of damage here in their defensive endeavors, and it's giving them ultimates to boot. This Earth Shatter is all they're going to have to stand on for the next little bit. They're going to have a self-destruct from Emil. It's going to be a pretty good Earth Shatter.
And Zappos actually switches over to Soldier 76. So we saw him play Tracer for a little bit, now going with Soldier, going with the more consistent damage here. Try and get the, yeah, it's definitely a safer pick. I mean, Soldier is so good in the current meta. Now you see it's going to be the D.Va ultimate coming out from the side of Unwanted, and they're actually able to get 1, and they take out the opposing team Lucio, so that is a huge kill there. It's going to be Fraggy with a big Earth Shatter, but those players are protected by that Lucio sound barrier. Finally, though, pins Latex against the wall. Himsy with 1. A very nice kill there from Mafu as he comes in, saves his teammate, just pushing forward. And this looks like it may be the push that NIP wins it.
Yeah, I mean, Himsy going to miss the hook there as well as Nicola just needs to stall out on this payload now. It's going to be shunted off. Big Earth Shatter comes in, though. That's going to catch on to 3, if not 4. No, even Zappe went down. Will it be enough as Mafu able to get on towards Nicola now and a Blizzard to stall things out? This will slow NIP down further. There's 33 seconds left here for NIP to finish the map.
This has been such an impressive hold from Unwanted. They do have the nano boost of their own, but here we're going to see Himsy. He's going to be nano boosted for NIP. Goes whole hog. He's able to just plow through the opponents, trying to search for Nicola because they know he has that Death Blossom. Nice hook there at the end. Finish him off. It's going to be Zappos up top, putting down a ton of damage. Mafu gets 1 with the D.Va ultimate, but here comes May, just stalling things out for the side of Unwanted. If they can get Nicola back in the fight, has that Death Blossom, could potentially make something happen, but you see, he's just going to fly in, only going to get 1 for Fraggy, picks up another big Earth Shatter, knocks down Emil, but here comes the self-destruct. not going to be able to get anything. It's going to be NIP completing the map, but with no time remaining. So a very good hold for about 4 minutes there from Unwanted.
That was great. That was a great start from Unwanted there as well. And look, I'm not trying to sell the guys short here, but there's no reason we should expect them to be a dominant force against NIP in this map. Invalid is very, very hard to attack on that last point. The guy's like, yeah, we did it. We did it. We managed to keep them with a 0 time bank. And that's a good start. It's a good opening from Unwanted there. You can see the frustration from NIP starting to show a little bit there. Zappa's cycling through a few different picks. A lot of ultimates being used there in that last point. Pretty chaotic, of course, with the stall you can achieve with Mei and D.Va. And hey, the 2-2-2 comp wasn't really terrible here as well. You see, there's a few choice words being exchanged on the side of NIP here, as they definitely would have wanted a bit more than that.
Well, I feel like if you are Unwanted, like when you lose that first point so fast with the comp that you had, and then you have to switch off of it, you almost know you're going to lose that second point equally as fast because you have no ultimates that even fight NIP back. I mean, at that point in time, I mean, you're switching off of the Torbjorn and the Symmetra over to Soldier and D.Va. You're not building any ults on them.
Gotcha.
The one time you have a chance to ult up top, you just get taken out by a Graviton Surge. And I know at 4 minutes, NIP there at the end, it's Unwanted able to hold on. You know, NIP still completes the map, but with no time remaining. We'll see what NIP does on defense here. They'll go with Roadhog and Zappis on Mei. So they're going to try and get those hooks down, try and get the walls up, just really stall Unwanted out here at the beginning.
I mean, I believe in miracles sometimes, I really do.
Sometimes.
But the thing is here, Unwanted did a great job defending against NIP. What they now have to do is get the first point, right? It's going to have to be one by one as they attack these challenges here. And NIP are coming out with the stock standard NIP composition, right? Himsy on Roadhog, Fraggy and Mafu, so that's going to make the triple tank core up. You've got the double support as per usual, Zappa on Ana, and Zappa's on the Mei here. Fundamentally, Unwanted need to be on a similar or even better level than NIP to break this first point. There's so much to benefit defenders here.
And it's interesting, you're going to see Unwanted running triple support at the beginning here. So they'll be running Lucio, Zenyatta, and Ana with a Roadhog, and they will be running Reinhardt and Soldier 76 on Nikolai, the only DPS hero. So what do you think about that? It's a little bit different.
Yeah. You could play 3-3 on this meta with 3 supports and 3 tanks, but having the DPS of Nikolai in here is super interesting. Unfortunately, your team's not as durable as it could otherwise be, and you can't benefit as much from the healing for the high health targets, and Mafu can also just go get 3 kills and stop the push there. And then, excuse me, so I'd like the inclusion of Zenyatta to deal with the tanks, so you should always think about that going up against NIP.
Yeah.
But do you really want to bring him in as another support and sacrifice another tank or damage dealer? I'm not certain.
And also, I mean, they just kind of lack mobility overall, right? I mean, you just don't have like a D.Va who can like get on the bridge or maybe just force some fire down.
Yeah,
or
high
like
ground control.
A Winston, yeah, you can't get high ground control with this setup. So I think Unwanted's going to have a lot of trouble getting through this choke point. And I do like the Zenyatta pick. You know, the Discord Orb's great to just burn down tanks, especially with Soldier 76, but still, I'm just hard-pressed to find out how they're going to get through. Well, I mean, that's one way. Zappa throws down a Mei wall, not the best placement of it. Now, you still see it's trying to get through the tanks of NIP. It is not working out, though, for Unwanted. You saw Zekor and Smarky just push right up to Roadhog, and they were not able to get anything going. Before Himsy drops, he's able to take out a few players. So it'll be Unwanted sticking with the same comp. How many more times do you think they try this before we see a switch?
Well, I don't know really what they would switch to here in this case. I'd maybe just get rid. Look, you can honestly get rid of Ana in this case, and you can play the Lucio Zenyatta. You probably still need the speed in this case if you want to have decent engagements like this. Graviton comes in though. Doesn't matter how fast you are if you're all being sucked together. And NIP, I don't even know if there have been kills for Unwanted so far. Been very comfortable and confident roll through for NIP, and they're just going to cycle and slowly trickle those ults in, Matt. They don't need to use them all at once. They've got 3, almost 4 ready to go. There's no reason that Unwanted should be able to push through that.
Well, Unwanted will have some ultimates coming into this next fight. They'll have the Transcendence, they'll have a Nano Boost, an Earth Shatter, and they'll have that Attack Visor from Soldier 76. So they can get beyond this Mei wall. Potentially they could get something going, but you see it's going to be a Blizzard coming in, and that's actually pretty fortunate. Nikolai was going to use the Attack Visor there, but it actually gets broken up as that Blizzard comes down. They use the Transcendence. It's going to be Latex able to get one. Himsy with a fantastic hook, though. You see the devastating things he could do on Roadhog. It's going to be Latex on the point, trying to get a charge onto Ana, but does not connect. Just trying to chase her down, and he's finally able to take out Zobu. So it's a good kill there, but nothing's going to happen in favor of Unwanted. It's going to be NIP still able to hold on.
Yeah, so now we're seeing they always think the Zenyatta actually being gotten rid of here. So to the Tracer here for Smarky, which is also okay. If you don't get hooked in against someone like Himsy, or God forbid getting right-clicked by the Roadhog scrap gun, Tracer's okay, can run circles around him and get a lot of damage, and pulse bombs will be coming. But there's no Zarya to combo that with. There's no big bang combo on the side of Unwanted here. So it's still it's just a classic old school 2-2-2, which there's a reason why we see triple tank, right? It's because you have 30% more health effectively over your whole team. And this 2-2-2 probably doesn't have the damage to really get it done here. We'll have to see, and yeah, fundamentally as well, it's going to be hard for Unwanted really to break this down.
And that was it was pretty bad for Unwanted there on that push, because they actually used the Soldier 76 ult, and he gets knocked down right away, and he just gets taken out, and they're not able to get anything for it. So they were probably going to try and combine the Soldier ult plus the nano boost and really just put it down a ton of damage as they push through. They're not able to get either of them connected there, and you see the May Blizzard coming out from Zappis from NIP a bit early here, but with only 20 seconds left, you get that first big pick, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, interesting enough there as well. Emma went past, he went through the Blizzard there with the boost, the rocket booster, just to, I don't know, try and isolate someone, but when you run headfirst into the Roadhog, that's not exactly the target you're trying to pick off there. Nicola going down to Mafia there as well means Unwanted are going to struggle. They've got 3 seconds remaining, and it does look like the plucky upstarts are going to struggle on first point here. In overtime, it'll be an attempt from Limit to get on the point, but no, Matt, not going to be enough. Even an Earth Shatter won't pave the way.
No, it'll be Unwanted losing map 1 here to NIP. A good defensive hold from Unwanted on the last point on Eichenwald, but on offense, they can't get anything going. I feel like just the composition they had at the beginning, Mitch, just was not something that was ever going to work. I feel like they've stuck on it a little bit long.
Yeah, I mean, it's super weird. In that regard, I kind of hope that we get to see a little bit more of that kind of thing from Unwanted, and maybe just start to piece things together, because triple support is actually okay. In this meta, it's quite good. There's a lot of value placed on all of those support heroes, and Zenyatta that much more now with the prevalence of tanks and how much D.Va got buffed, etc. So you can do it. I just throwing the 1 DPS and the Soldier 76 in there just makes me feel like they just feel comfortable playing a 76 and maybe not being super academic in their approach to crafting that team comp. But I mean, I'd like to unpack a bit more as we go.
So I like